Okay, now that we've worked on adding a title and text, the next thing I want to show you how to do is to add an image. So for example, in this Career Explorers example, we have this image here that I added on the page. And so the way we do that is, over here you have the choice of image. You just click on it like you did the text and title and drag it over. And it's going to show you an icon here, and you click on that, and then it's going to give you the option of how you want that image, or how you want to find that image. So I'm going to upload it from the computer, and I'm just going to get a sample picture, and I'll stick with the animal theme and go with the koala, and I'm going to open it. We'll upload it, scan it for viruses. Now, it may not be as big as you want it, or it may pop up and be huge. So you can click on it, and you can resize it to however big you want the picture to be. You could, if you wanted, if this was part of your web quest, and let's say you wanted whoever's working on it to be able to click on this and get information about koalas, you could actually assign a link to it. So there are several different things you could do. You can add a caption to it. You could move it if you want it over there on the left or the right. Maybe you don't want it centered on the page. So there are several different things you can do. Okay, and then to get out the editing part, you just kind of click in there. Now another thing you can do, if you wanted to edit, go into this portion, you can crop it. So I just double clicked on it. You can crop it, rotate it. You can do other things with it, different effects. You maybe want to Polaroid edges on it or burnt edges. You click OK, and then in this portion you would need to click Save, and it would save your the things that you did to the picture. Okay, so we've added a title, we've added some text, we've added a picture. Now I want to show you on the Career Explorer website, you'll see here I've added a video. Okay, and this video is actually found on YouTube, and you probably won't be able to hear it, may not be able to hear it. But this is on YouTube, and let's say I want to add a video to, or you want to add a video to this. What you're going to do is, if you'll scroll down, you'll see that like adding an HD video is part of the premium version, so you can't do that. So what you want to do is, you want to add what's called an embed code. So I'm going to show you how to add this to the page and get the embed code. So I'm going to drag this down, and you'll see it says click to set custom HTML. Okay, so we'll leave that for the moment, and I will go to YouTube. Now in YouTube, I've uploaded pictures. For instance, this video is one I did for one of my classes, 16 Habits of Mind, so I'm just going to use that as an example. So the best thing to do is upload your video to YouTube, if you have an account there. And you want to make sure that when you upload the video, that your settings are where the video is public. So if it's something you want to do public. Or you can find a video on YouTube that's not even yours. Maybe you found one that works for your web quest and you would like to use it. Just make sure you credit it to whoever it belongs to. But any video you go to, what you're going to see is down below it, you're going to see add to and then share. And this is what we want. Okay, so I'm going to click on share. And what's going to pop up first is just the URL link, okay, which will be like the link up here. But I want the embed code. So I'm going to click on embed. And you'll see it'll pop up here with all this code, okay, that may not make a lot of sense, but all you need to do is right click on it and copy it. Okay, so now we're going to go back to our website, and it says here to click to set custom HTML. So I'm going to click on that. I want to edit it. So I'm going to right click and paste that into it. Now, the width and the height, that's something that we're going to look at eventually, because we'll see what it looks like. You may want to change the size of the graphic that shows the actual video. Okay, so I'm finished with that. I can put it in the middle, put it on the side. But there is my embed code. Now, the thing about this, it's not going to show you the graphic of the video while you're in the editor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click Publish. And so now it's on the side, but we still don't see it in the editor. So what I usually do is I make sure that I have the site open, okay, in another tab. And so once I publish, then I can refresh and I can see this. Now, the size there is okay. Let's say I want it to be smaller though. So I'm going to go back to this, okay, and I'm going to click that. And right here is where I would change. I could click in there and I can change the size. So I can make it bigger or I can make it smaller. But I want to make sure that I keep the proportion as it has it. So I'm going to say, I'm going to change this to 460. Okay, because I changed that 40, I'm going to change this to 355. Okay, so we'll go back to this, refresh. May not show much of a difference because I didn't change it very much, but that is how you can change that if you want to change the size of it. So I'll try 600, 400, publish. That's the one thing I didn't do. Remember, you always need to publish. So go back to practice, refresh. And now you can see it's bigger. Okay, so lesson learned there. Always make sure you click on publish when you're making those changes. And so again, it's a good idea to have the actual site open up in another tab. And that way you can go back and forth and make sure the changes that you've done, if you've clicked publish, you can make sure that it's looking like you want it. Now this kind of looked a little bit, obviously we want it like this. It doesn't look good. But this is mainly just to show you how to put the elements in. All right, so we'll go back here. So I've showed you how to add these things in. Now you'll notice here we've got this button that says Task. Okay, and I want to, what this does is when I click on it, it takes me to the task page. Now I don't have to have that because I have the tabs at the top. But I do want to show you how to add one of those buttons. Okay, so we've got all these, and anything on the page that you don't want, you can usually delete those. But we're going to add what is called a button. We'll drag the button over here. And when I highlight to change the button text, it'll give me some options up here. So I'm going to change it to task. And I want it to be on the other side. So I'm going to click over here where it justifies on the left. And I want to link it to the task page. So I'm going to click here, and then you can see if you do the drop-down menu, you see your pages. And so I'm going to link it to the task page. If it were a button for another website, I could do that. We'll save it. Okay, and then when I publish it, refresh this, and there it is, and it takes me to the task page, which we haven't done anything on yet, so there's nothing there, but it takes me to the task page. Now, one other thing I want to do you can also add links. So for instance, on the process page, this is telling the audience, whoever's using this, some places to go. So for instance, here's a link to Georgia College 411. And when I click it, it opens a new tab. And it will take them to the Georgia College 411 website where they will need some information for the task that they're doing. So I'm going to go to a different page just because this is getting kind of full. So let's go to the task page, and we'll add text spot here. And # type, click here for a link to an example web quest. And I want the link, I want them to actually click here. So I'm going to highlight the word here. I'm going to click create link. I'm actually going to go to the Career Explorer's web quest. I will copy the address just so I don't get it wrong. And I'm going to paste it here. Now, I always check open link in new window, because anytime someone clicks on a link, if you don't have that, it takes them off of your site. So then if they say go to that site and there's some other things they're clicking on, they get further and further away from your site. And if they need to go back there to get information or go to the next step, then they've got to try to find their way back. So I always think it's a good idea to open in a new window. That way it opens in a new window or a new tab, and they still have the other open and can get to it fairly easily. So we'll save that. We'll publish it. And just to make sure that it works, it's right here, so I'm going to click and it goes to that page. So you always want to check your links to make sure they work and they go to where you want them to. You don't want someone working on the site and not being able to get to the links that they need. So that is pretty much it. There are obviously other things that you can do. A lot of it with Weebly, anything like this, just kind of playing around with it. You can always undo things that you put in when you do text. So for instance, we were on the first page. If I type something here and make errors, there's arrows here, the undo, just like in word processing. You can copy and paste from a word processing document. It's just the type may be different. So there are a lot of different things that you can do with the Weebly website. So, just explore, just play around with it, and, any of these other things over here that you want to try, just to see what they do, and you can always, undo them. But again, I did it a little bit earlier. Always remember to click publish if you want the changes to show up immediately. And we'll exit the editor, and it will take me back to this page.